Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. We're going to be continuing our Afro-Eurasia series. This is what the map looks like before. I also misspoke, there was 4 splits, not 3 last video. 1, 2, 3, and 4 over here. But you know, anyway, let's continue. We get Beijing. They're going to largely expand. Let me zoom in here. Alright. They're going to... What was the button? Was it control? No, it's Alt. Nope, it's Shift. Yes, it's Shift. They're just going to expand in the area surrounding their capital because they need more space up here. Because again, your capital is usually where your population is, right? But in Tianjin's case, they're so close to Beijing and they don't want to go to war to get more space. So their capital isn't going to be the most populated in their kingdom. It's going to be over here. You know what I mean? Where they have the more space. Unless they all want to be sardines, you know? We go to Rome next. They're going to keep going into Spain and get a coastal little part of it. I was going to call it an empire, but their empire is kind of also inland over here. Bethlehem is going to mediumly expand. They're going to take the Sinai. And that's all they can do. Singapore is going to keep going into Indonesia. You know, actually, I got a small thing. I re-downloaded Civ 6. I don't have Civ 7. I have Civ 6, but I re-downloaded Civ 6, right? And I'm playing, and Indonesia just spawns on an island of 3 tiles, and you can't do anything. It's if you wanna lose, you pick Indonesia on the real Earth start location map. They just spawned right here, 3 tiles, and you can't even do anything with them for a while. So you know, that's not fun. Mecca, nope. All right, we're going to be getting Mogadishu. They're going to be purple, why not? And they're somewhere around here. They're going to build everyone in Africa is being a coastal empire, but who cares? It makes sense. And they got like a nice coastline. And they're somewhere around here. Yeah, that's good enough. Beijing is going to yet again expand a little bit on the outside of their capital, and then they're going to start going more south, get more coastal lands, build harbors, infrastructures, farm more inland. So yeah, they're looking pretty good. They might be pretty rich here. Tianjin right next door is going to expand, getting more of the Russian-Chinese area, and then they're going to go alongside the border of China before following alongside a bunch of rivers. Mogadishu is going to largely expand. They're going to go all the way up the coast. They got like a nice little actual thin Somalia type thing. They're also going to get these islands because why not? And you know, I'm actually going to try to give them their shape in real life. And maybe I have Somaliland rebel later. Beijing, new leader. Sick. Singapore is going to mediumly expand. Still going to take more over in Indonesia. They're going to sail, get a bunch of islands. Before they start saying, you know, let's get the Sentinelese type islands over here. And then they're going to keep going into Vietnam now. Bethlehem. Okay. Alright. I mean, there's a lot of options. there's so many options. And I'm going to choose absolutely none of them, and I'm going to bring the Suez here. And they're going to get this little line. They have, like, nothing. But it's really funny. And actually, they're going to have control of both sides of the canal. And, little entrance into the thing. And that's all I'm going to give them. And let's continue. Singapore is going to, again, keep... There we go. Keep going into Vietnam. I think they're a pretty good empire. I mean, they have a lot of place. You know, surely they have a lot of buildings, infrastructure, all that, harbors, ports. We're going to keep giving them a Somali outline. I think... no, that goes a little too far now. That's good enough. Now we can actually start giving them whatever we please. They're just going to go down the coast, try to get all of this East African coast. Bethlehem is going to smallly expand. They'll let Suez live. They will let them for now. And they're going to get more into Saudi Arabia and Jordan. Tianjin is going to go alongside this Russian coastline. They're going to fall alongside a bunch of rivers. And yeah, they're really populated over here. Tianjin is going to adopt a religion. What's the closest religion to them? Animism. The religion that Singapore keeps trying to get rid of. Yeah, they can follow animism. Beijing is going to largely expand. They're going to just beef up their southern half because they don't want to be heavily dependent on the north. They want the south to be just as rich as the north and vice versa. Suez is going to get a little bit more than just the Suez Canal and all that and the entrance into the Red Sea. They're going to even get these little rivers in Egypt. Rome, new nation, never mind. Anyway, we're going to have Carthage. We did it last time, and they kind of got their ass whooped. So we're going to try to get some more Carthage type stuff. Carthage is just about where Tunis is up here. There we go. Because they named apparently their city after their empire or something. Well, yeah, but we got Carthage now. Romans, relax, don't kill them too fast. Bethlehem will smallly expand. They will expand more into Syria, Lebanon, closer to Turkey. And yeah, they're looking pretty good. Bethlehem again. Yeah, we're getting rid of Suez. We are going to get rid of them. We're demoting their city as well. But yeah, Bethlehem, they're a nation of peace, alright? They're not a nation of war. Okay, so they're like, you know what, Suez, you want to come back? And Suez is like, yeah, why not, right? Logically, it makes no sense, but we're just going to go with it. Athens is going to adopt a religion. You're the only one following Greekism, and I want to keep them around. So you're going to stay Greekism, which is, by the way, lore recap. Romanism is the Roman gods. So, you know, the ones that the planets are named after, right? Hellenistic, I think, is just the same as Roman gods, but with the Greek names. Greekism is just that I just explained. Corinthian paganism, I just made that up. So, because they were Aphrodite's cult, and then they left that. And, yeah, anyway, so you get the point. Tianjin, medium expansion. They're going to, again, expand to the east. And then they hear of a land to the south. And they're like, you know what, let's go explore this land to the south. And they're starting to go into this Japanese area. They're getting all these islands. They're expanding up into the north of it. They even get Peanut Island. And yeah, they're a pretty decent empire, dare I say. Singapore, speaking of pretty decent empire, they're going to get into Southeast Asia. And they're not just going to focus on Vietnam. They want to make sure that their territory is connected. Because if their territory is, like, for instance, from this river to here, right? So from this point to this point, if everything in the middle was blank, they're now like a boomerang shape, but now they're more connected. So it's a little bit easier to get materials from here to here without having to go through wilderness that's, you know, not made for human exploration as easy compared to something that has been inhabited. You know what I mean? There's no roads and all that, and it's a lot harder to try. You get the fucking point. Corinthia is going to largely expand. Where are they going to go, you wonder? Well, can I zoom in? Yeah, almost. Okay, they're going to go down into Benghazi area because they didn't want to stop expanding, and there's no more islands for them to go. So they're just going to get a coastal little network right here in Benghazi, all the way to Tripoli and into Egypt as well. So not smart to have your empire here, 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 and here, but maybe it works, who knows. Mecca, we can finally give them Medina, which is somewhere around here. Bang. I think that's the right spot. Singapore. They don't want to be animism anymore. And I can't just give it right back, because now somebody else is following it. So, I'm gonna give them shamanism. Why? Don't know. Don't ask me. Alright. So, it's really weird when you follow someone's faith and then they so desperately don't want to have it that they keep leaving, and now you're the only one in that faith. But faith has finally expanded to this eastern part. I forgot to mention that. It was everywhere else but this eastern part. And now the only one without religion is Carthage, Mogadishu, Mecca, and Beijing. Libreville, new leader, never mind. Ignore what I said. Athens, largely expanding. Zoom in, thank you. They're going to go up the Turkish coastline into Georgia and Russia before going back to go down. I hate you. Beijing. They're just going to expand alongside these rivers. Follow alongside these rivers, some might say. Get a western district. You know what would be really cool? If you could, like, have, like, a... like, form district card. You know what I mean? And it would be for countries only, you know, like 1,000 land area and above. Like found or new district and district union, you know what I mean? So like two districts, like say, okay, so everything north of this river is the North District. Everything south is the South District, but now they're forming a West District, which you could say would be anything from this part onward, right? So, you know what I mean? Like, and you can have freedom over that and say you want to union these two, and it'd probably be hard to do, who cares? Rome is going to keep getting a coastal part of Spain, and their empire is very stretched out and very thin right here because they don't want to go into the Devil's Play place. Who does, honestly? Not me. Oh, it's Mecca, sorry. I looked away to start a new song. Mecca gives us another new nation. The nation that keeps on giving, some might say. Look out, Bethlehem. Because we got Babylonia. And they're gonna get an empire starting alongside, I think this is the Euphrates and the Tigris. Those are the two rivers right there, right? They're even gonna go down to the Gulf. Now I need to check. Is it the Euphrates? I know the Euphrates for sure, but is it the Tigris River? That's the question. Tigris or not Tigris? That is the question. It is. I'm just going to put a rough estimate of Babylon. Alright. Our Middle East is looking really filled in. I don't think I'm going to put many new nations here unless it's like splits. But I just wanted to get Babylonia out of the way. Singapore. Fuck's sake, man. Just stop. That's all you have to do. Just stop. Alright, still shamanism. Singapore, okay. I've never seen a country hate their religion more, really. Except for Japan that one time. Tokyo, sorry. Singapore. Oh my god! Go away! It's always them! Mecca. You're the one that needs the religion! Oh my god. Sorry. Singapore again. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit. Why couldn't it have been Mecca? What? Okay. Mogadishu. Oh my. New nation. We're getting a new person in here that usually it never shows up because it's only had one opportunity and it never came. Stockholm. Who is somewhere around here. Just getting a nice little empire in this cold hellscape up there, and yeah, that's good enough. I think that's close to where it is. If it's not, who cares? Anyway, moving on. Singapore okay, so help me God if it would have happened again. I would have ended the video right there. If Singapore gets one more before I'm done filming, I'm ending the video. Alright, we're gonna get Ho Chi Minh. They're gonna get like this Vietnamese part of it and make it a little thicker just because, and that's all they're gonna get. And we got Ho Chi Minh City too. Ho Chi Minh, medium expansion. They're gonna keep getting the Vietnamese part of this land. Carthage. It doesn't feel right to give them Romanism. So we'll give them Corinthian paganism since it's right next door. Look at that little passageway that they need to connect. Beijing. Oh my god. Ho Chi Minh. You... I'm tempted to get rid of Singapore. I'm so tempted because they're pissing me off. How old are you? 85? Yeah, no, we're getting rid of Singapore. They pissed me off way too much. And we're demoting their city to a small city, not even a big city. Now Beijing, new leader. My god. How many emperors do you need? Libreville. Okay. They're going to expand into Ghana and the Ivory Coast. And then go back into Nigeria area. They kind of look like a revolver. Beijing. Okay, cool. Beijing. They're going to fall alongside these rivers, keep making this western district. And that's definitely going to be the poorer part. Corinthia. Ooh, they don't want to be Roman anymore. They say after... How many years have you been around? After 99 years, we're our own man. Fair. Rome, medium expansion. They don't care that everyone is getting rid of their origin point. They say, well, you wouldn't be here without us, so it doesn't matter if you say you're not, you know, Roman. You will always be Roman. Without us, you would be nothing. Bethlehem. They're going to expand. They're going to go into Egypt a little bit more. Almost find Corinthia by land. They know about them by trade of the sea, but they don't know they're here. You know what I mean? They just trade right here. Ho Chi Minh? Okay. You know what we're going to bring back? Old classic. I'll just call them Brunei, because I think that's what I called them before. And, I don't think I ever actually finished the plan I had for them, because there wasn't enough episodes. But Brunei is back with their capital, Bandar Seri Begawan. Yeah, I definitely said that right. Ho Chi Minh? Okay. Every time this region pops up, I'm like, it's gonna be a new religion. Look at that, they definitely have a Vietnam shape. Ho Chi Minh again? Okay. And they're gonna get rid of that shape, because they're just gonna fill in this area. This is very rich lands, probably. And a lot of resources, I think. We're just gonna, it's my universe. Whatever I say is true. Bethlehem. They don't want to be Roman anymore. Well, next door is Corinthian paganism. It's taking over everyone. I mean, look at the faith mode. It's all in this one spot. And actually, Corinth is the reason that Libreville follows Aphrodite's cult. So Corinth is just inspirational, you know? Mogadishu, new leader. Tianjin, medium expansion. They're going to keep going into Japan. They heard fables of old, and they want to keep exploring, find out what these fables are and if they're true. Carthage. Again, it's so wrong to give them Romanism. So they're just going to stay Corinthian pagan, I guess. They held a vote. Do you want to switch? And they said no. Mogadishu is going to largely expand. Oh, I was supposed to give them down here. Yep. Now they got down there. They're going to buff out the border a little bit so it's not so thin. Bethlehem, largely expanding. They're going to keep going down the Nile. Because why not? Athens finally will fix that stupid shit. And they're going to keep going down the southern coast, and they actually find Bethlehem. And they're like, hey, who are you? And we're Bethlehem. Oh, that's cool. We're Athens. Nice to meet you. And they're going to start, you know, trading. Bethlehem, again, friendly. They don't like war. So anyone they meet, they want to set up an alliance, a trade deal, a this and a that. So, you know, they see world peace. You know what I mean? Rome, largely expanding. They're just going to get Portugal and Galicia. Stockholm. I almost forgot you exist. They're just going to keep getting a Swedish border a little bit. Getting some Finnish islands on the way, because who cares? That looks wrong. Anyway, Tianjin is going to just keep going up in Japan. Literally just up north to this North Island. What they're doing over here, they're looking for ghosts. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it honest. This is the logical part. These are the brain dead people. These are the mentally ill that, you know, are like, hey, I just saw a samurai. A samurai? What's that? I don't know. But he said he's a samurai, and he was like see-through, and, you know, little do they know, it's because they took too many drugs. Athens is back up. They're gonna keep expanding eastern here. They're soon gonna run into Babylonia if they keep going down that way. Ho Chi Minh? Okay, cool. They're just gonna smallly expand, get more of Thailand into Myanmar. Macedonia is going to keep going into Romania. Start moving more into Ukraine is hopefully the plan. Athens, they're going to smallly expand again, getting more of actual Turkish lands before they get to like where Iraq actually is. Mogadishu, never mind. Ho Chi Minh, okay, new nation. I saw new and I'm like, no, it's found, but who cares? We got New Delhi. And they're somewhere around here. They're gonna try to stay south of the mountain, so they're gonna hug it, you know what I mean? But, are they gonna follow it? Who knows? I forgot that was on my... There we go. New Delhi, there we go, thank you. And in fact, inside it is the original. I don't know why I did it in that order, just like with the Vatican, but whatever. Macedonia, never mind. Stockholm. Oh. All right, look at that. Beautiful. Babylonia, medium expansion. They will expand up north, and I'm purposely trying to not let them find anyone yet. Mogadishu, okay. Man, if only, okay, I can't logically make this make sense. Because it's supposed to be from anywhere around here to over here that they're supposed to be. But those areas are already taken. So you're just going to have to believe for a moment that they start all the way here. In these Spanish islands, Portuguese islands, all that. You know what I mean? And even Cabo Verde. You just got to believe me for a moment, okay? And then they're going to start in Morocco. And down this coastline. Just bear with me, alright? We got the sea people, which is the very reason that a lot of civilizations collapse. That's the belief. And I'm gonna let their capital be... Casablanca. Alright, last turn, the sea people... Oh, they're trying to union. Okay, actually the last turn. New Delhi, large expansion. Again, they're gonna try to hug this mountain range, you know what I mean? They're gonna get some tiles in there, but they're gonna try to hug it while also expanding down south. No, we still have time for more, actually. Carthage, gonna expand alongside the coast before going south. They're gonna finally meet up with Carthage, or sorry, with Corinthia, and they're just gonna be like, hey man, how are you? You're the reason we're this religion. All right, now my timer has gone off. That has been the end of the video. Let me give you the map recap. A little bit more filled in than it was before. We got the Brunei people here. That's a nice addition. But here's the origin mode if you care about that. Only a few people actually have the same origin over here and over here. This is the only Roman, non-Roman left. You know what I mean? Faith mode if you care for that. And no, nothing else really matters. I'll see you guys in the next one though. Zena, peace out. See you guys.